Episode 6. And Another. Nova opened the curtains, the sun in her face, flooding the living room with a warm light. She hugged herself, smiling at the familiar sight, the same buildings, trees, vine hugging the corner of the roof, the same silhouettes in the windows, a sweet old man watering his plants, an ever-tired but affectionate mother with a restless baby, and a young couple who'd often fight in the kitchen. Nova would stand there almost every morning, watching other people's lives from her apartment in Rome. A cup of coffee in her hands, yet today, even the most mundane things somehow felt special. What a beautiful day. However, the moment she took a sip, her certainty in that thought wavered. God, I need to make sure to never buy this brand of coffee again. She was about to put the cup down on the table, but froze when she heard a thud. A black cat was looking at her from the balcony. Nova took a step closer, studying her. She didn't know why, but she felt confident it was a female cat. Hello, lovely creature. Aren't you? Shiny, dark fur, soft paws, bright eyes, 2 different colors. I feel like we've met before. Perhaps your owners live nearby. Or are you a cat who walks by herself? There was no response, of course. Nova went to the kitchen to bring the animal something to eat, but when she returned with a small bowl in her hands, the cat was gone. I'm sure I've seen her somewhere. Or was that a different cat? I don't think that eye color match. A chime on her phone pulled her out of her thoughts. The name on the screen read Maria Luisa. Nova accepted the call. Hello? Birdie, I hope I'm not disturbing you. Even though the receiver, her voice was filled with warmth and care, the familiar Birdie always brought a smile to her face. Good morning. You're not disturbing me. Don't worry. Okay. You can probably already know why I'm calling. Because of dinner? There was some shuffling, and she had gone into another room. She lowered her voice as if about to share an important secret. I've been listening to your father's laments all morning. I know you haven't forgotten, but he's worried. He could have called and asked. Oh, Nova, you know him. Nova laughed, shaking her head. I do, but I don't understand where he got the idea that calling his daughter makes him overbearing. Man, what else can you expect from him? I'll let him know we're sticking to the plan then. Yes, I'll be there. And tell him I won't be alone either to buy the cannoli I love. And tell him I won't be coming alone. Oh, you mean your friends? Yes, Maria Luisa. My friends, with that exact intonation. Why didn't you tell me sooner? We'll have to dress accordingly. And a simple pasta won't do. I'll make a lasagna, maybe a risotto. Anyway, I have to run. I need to... Her voice was interrupted with a quick beeping. She must have gotten so overwhelmed by the news that she hung up accidentally before finishing her sentence. Nova put the phone away. Dad is so funny. No matter how much I tell him I appreciate it when he calls, he still thinks he's somehow bothering me. It'll be nice to see him on Saturday. I miss him. Glancing at the clock, Nova cursed under her breath. Shit, the time. Leaving her unfinished coffee in the bowl in the kitchen, she went back to getting ready for work. The museum was preparing for an exhibition of a Caravaggio painting from a private collection, and she still had much to arrange. She couldn't be late, especially if she wanted to discuss a promotion with her boss. I can be late sometimes when I become a curator. All week, Nova had been looking forward to the weekend. Before dinner at her childhood home, she was meeting up with friends. A great reason to dress up. Parallel, misfire, distortion, echo, blind spot. I have to think about some of these. These are nice. I'm gonna go with distortion. I feel like echo's nice and all if you were, like, with a person intimately. Just saying. Or a curator, or at least, you know, something of that sort. Is this my choice all good? Don't you change the hair, you mother! Just kidding, what do we got? I kinda like the styled bangs, it's kinda nice. Whoa, wow, girl. You've really... You really poofed your hair, holy shit. That's some poof. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with the dyed. I said it was alright, why not? No accessories. A little necklace, I guess. Understanding. I kind of like that one. It's alright. But, because they offer nothing, I'm gonna go with no accessories. All good. Admiring herself in the mirror, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. Oh, I know. Where did I put those contacts? She bought them spontaneously because they were discounted. She'd never had to wear contacts before. Her eyesight was good. I should read the instructions. Despite that thought, her body took over on its own. Nova opened the cardboard box, took out the blister pack, checked that it was intact as well as the expiration date, and then she removed the foil, carefully to avoid spilling the solution. Leaving the container on the sink, she washed her hands thoroughly, took out the lenses. Wait, so I've never worn contact lenses. They have expiration dates on them? With her free hand, she pulled her upper eyelid up and her lower eyelid down, and put the lens against her cornea, and let go of her eyelids and blinked to let the lens find its place. Then she repeated the process with the other eye. Oh, you can, okay, light brown, hazel, purple. That would go with our hair. You only give us 3, though. I wanna guess I'll go with the light brown. I would have loved I would have liked, like, blue, red, like, that would have been cool. Only then did she snap out of the weird, dreamlike state. She'd never done this before. But why, then, were her movements so practiced, as if she'd performed those actions countless times? Why was there no discomfort in her eyes, if she wasn't used to wearing contacts? Strange. Check the contacts. Leaning in towards the mirror, Nova decided to take a closer look at herself. Her eyes. Her eyes glowed the colors of a smoldering dawn. Recoiling instinctively, she shook her head and pressed her fingers to her closed eyelids. A vague feeling of wrongness suddenly gripped her whole body. It bit into her chest, burned her mind, evading any attempt to grasp and determine what exactly it meant. What the hell? What the hell? She could have sworn that when she opened her eyes, the earth had tilted off its axis. Nothing had changed. She was still standing in her bathroom in her apartment. Her fingers gripped the sink and covering a crack that she had left by a heavy bottle of cream. One of the light bulbs was still out because she couldn't be bothered to replace it. Orange stains on the bath mat reminded her of when she'd gestured a little too enthusiastically with a brush full of bleach while dyeing Jorge's hair during one of their sleepovers. Nothing had changed, yet everything seemed unreal, deceptive. She stared at the floor, too afraid to see with that strange amber fire in her own eyes again, but she could have just turned around, leave either. Finally, she forced herself to look up. Taking a shaky step towards her own reflection, she carefully pushed one of the lenses to the side to check her irises. It was blue, as it should be. A sigh of relief escaped her lips as tension released her from its grip. It was just my imagination. Maybe it was a trick of the light. Besides, work's been a lot lately. I just need to get more rest. She shook it off, determined not to let this strange episode ruin her evening. And yet, as she left, she made sure not to look in the mirror again. Having already checked 3 times that she hadn't forgotten anything, Nova was sitting on the couch, staring down the clock. When the doorbell rang, she jumped up and crossed the room in an instant to open the door. I'm sorry. I've even texted you to start getting ready. How do you always manage to be late? It's just my Italian blood. Talus, I was counting on you.
You pick her up next time. I'd like to see you handle the situation and force her not to be late. She's incorrigible. Started painting her nails 5 minutes before we needed to be out the door.
I just miscalculated a bit. Big deal. Nova snorted in response. She wasn't going to let Onyx get away with this so easily, and she had one way to make her displeasure clear. Walking up to Talus, she wrapped her arms around his waist and stood on tiptoes to kiss him.
Aye.
Hey, not cool.
Being late is also not cool.
Of course, neither Nova nor Talus could stay mad at Onyx for too long. Not when she was making that face. Come here. Beaming, Onyx pulled her into a hug so tight, Nova's breath caught. Sometimes Onyx reminded her of a cat, just as drawn to warmth and in constant need of touch and affection. Powerless before her charm, Nova drew her into a kiss and pulled both of her partners to the sofa. They settled into each other's arms. I thought we were in a hurry. We are, but I have the right to 5 minutes alone with you.
How's your exhibition?
Nova started filling them in. There wasn't much to tell, though. Onyx, Talus, and her made sure to see each other as often as possible and talk throughout the day, so they always were already up to date on everything happening in her life. Anyway, yeah, everything's a mess as always. I asked them to hire someone to help, and they gave me an intern who needed to be trained, which will only add to my workload. What's new with you? Nothing much. We got those lilies from China, so beautiful. You should have seen them. Leo was unloading them all by himself because everyone else was busy, and I couldn't even step near those flowers because of my allergy. I heard him complaining about me to the other staff members already afterwards, but they defended me. Before Nova and Talus could voice their outrage about the Leo situation, Onyx clapped. Oh, a customer recognized me today. She asked for my autograph. Could you imagine? Talus, has that ever happened to you?
Talus shivered. None yet, thankfully. But I imagine someone approaching me like that.
At least you're safe in the workshop. You can quietly tinker away with your stones and metals.
Yeah, but I'm still a little scared of the whole prospect of being recognized.
Don't tell me you're thinking of quitting the band. I can imagine my music without your voice. Smiling softly, Talus stroked Onyx's cheek.
I'm not quitting. I like what we do too much.
When you become famous, don't forget who is your first and biggest fan is. Hugging her from behind, Talus kissed her on the neck and Onyx on the lips.
All right, shall we go? The car's parked at the building next door.
Yeah, we should head out. We have dinner with my family after the cafe. When did she go to work? What the hell? Onyx swallowed hard. That's been stressing me all week.
I can relate.
Sure it'll go well. Let's go. The cafe was empty, except for one table, which was now seating 7 people. We're chowing down today. Danny pulled the group out of the conversation, placing the last plate in front of them. I present to you the test menu. Right now we have way too many dishes, but about a quarter of them need to be cut before the opening. But we still can't decide what has to go. So, you have to help us with that tonight. What do you mean something has to go? You and your brother are crazy. The more options, the better, especially when they're also delicious. Jorge told me you'd say that.
People hate huge menus. They're doing everything right.
Oh, my people, you mean yourself?
Yes. I don't like when there are too many choices. Either I always go for the same thing. Anyway.
Renato leaned forward, examining the food. Jorge decided his cafe would only serve light snacks, baked cheeses, empanadas, sandwiches, and other dishes that Nova didn't know the names of. Is this all Argentine cuisine? Danny shook her head, rocking back and forth on her heels with a tray in her hands. Jorge took it to, as a foundation, but experimented with it. Smells amazing. Tastes even better. We'll see about that. I have no doubt about that. Let's go with... We'll see about that. Figuring, his cooking thus far. Are you doubting his culinary genius?
Things could go wrong with anybody, even a talented chef like him.
That's never happened since I've known you all, so... Well, go on, dig in. I'm gonna go and see if Ori needs help in the kitchen. So she left. They all exchanged glances. Danny spent too little time with them to know that whenever their large group miraculously managed to align their schedules and get together, chaos inevitably erupted at the table, especially when Jorge was cooking for them. The portions were small, although they should have been enough for everyone to taste every dish. They started elbowing each other in the attempt to grab the most delicious bites. Shin smirked, having claimed an empanada, but it was purely to celebrate. Onyx grabbed his wrist and leaned in immediately, eating the pastry right out of his hand. Laughing with a mouthful wasn't the best idea. She choked, coughing.
Serves you right.
Meanwhile, Vesper was fending off Renato, pressing her palm against his cheek to make it harder for him to reach for the small sandwiches. If you don't let me go right now... What? Are you going to make me repeat the Lord's Prayer after you? Ow! He pinched her side, making her flinch in surprise, and seized the moment to snatch a sandwich. And then he rattled off in one breath, "Thank you, Lord, for this food. Amen." And put the food in his mouth before Vesper could do anything. Defeated, but not broken, the woman pursed her lips and turned away, searching for another target. Talus, Lucy, and Nova knew that the best strategy was to wait out the battle, so they just dodged the others. 10 euros on Renato. He's on a roll today. He and Onyx need to join forces out of Italian solidarity.
Even if they defeat Ireland and China, they'll end up in a civil war.
Where's Ore, by the way? He's missing his favorite part. Lucian shrugged. Soon Vesper, Renato, Onyx, and Shin finally calmed down, and they could now eat without fear of being attacked. Nova reached for her fork, but her stomach suddenly clenched as if what lay before her weren't fragments or fragrant appetizers, but something disgusting. Nova reached for her fork, but her stomach suddenly... You ever have a brain fart? I just had one. And moving on. Like, Just looking at it made her sick. Nova, your face looks green. I'm fine, I'm fine. I think I'm just not hungry. Jorge finally came out of the kitchen with a tray in his hands. On it were shimmering lavender-colored drinks. Ta-da! My latest, and dare I say, best creation. Is it alcoholic? Come on, man, you know me. Shin rubbed his palms in anticipation. Renato Nova, I made you a non-alcoholic version. The undertones are slightly different, but overall the taste should be about the same. I guarantee you've never tried anything like this before. Can I have 2 or 3? I've had a rough week. Argentinian Canna is a sugar cane-based alcoholic beverage with caramel and other flavoring ingredients. No, this is all I have. Save the rest for the opening. But I have some Canna left, my dad's recipe, so we'll be fine. Making the people in the booth squeeze in, even though it seemed there was no room left, he handed out the drinks. The glasses are so beautiful. Wow, that is pretty. We got moon glass, sun glass. I'm gonna do moon. Lucian was the first to raise his glass. To Jorge, to be honest, I've gotten so used to your cooking for all of us that I almost regret having to share you with all of Rome. Did the opening going well? If you need any help, just let us know.
Yeah, especially if you need help testing the menu.
We are all very proud of you. Oh, and thanks for agreeing to feed us here for free.
I never agreed to that.
Oh, you did. You just forgot, so here I am reminding you. My arm is getting numb. Let's drink. To Jorge in his cafe. Everyone echoed her words and put their glasses to their lips. Nova took a sip. The drink was rich and spicy, with playful floral notes, a completely new yet faintly familiar taste.
Told ya. I'll never had anything better in my life.
This is great. God, give me 30 bottles of this. Whatever is it?
I'm not telling you. It's a secret. I haven't come up with a name yet. Danny and I have gone through dozens of options, but none feel right. Any suggestions?
Lavender Tasty Astra. The word slipped out on its own, flaring up in her mind without any need to think. Along with it came the same sense of wrongness she'd felt in the bathroom. Its echo faded quickly, leaving behind a dull, lingering unease. Astra. I like it. Very elegant.
You're a genius, Nova. That settles it.
Glad I could help. The conversation flowed in another direction. Soon Nova glanced at the clock. There's still time before dinner. I could stay longer or leave now. The diamond choice will improve friendship with characters. 103 diamonds. Excuse me while I go cry a little in the bathroom. No, I'm kidding. Let's go. Onyx leaned back and examining her nail polish. Do you guys think I should quit my job? Where did that come from? Putting his hand on Onyx's knee, Talus answered for her.
Our band is starting to gain momentum, but I think quitting our day jobs right now would be unwise.
Vesper propped her chin on her hand, resting her elbow on the table. You've already making money from your gigs. Well, not exactly. Whatever we earn goes towards the band's needs, equipment, rehearsal, space rental, that kind of thing. Well, then you definitely shouldn't quit your day job. Lucy and Vesper nodded in agreement. Although, do you have any savings? Right. Forgot who I was talking to. You're all so boring. Maybe I want to live the life of a free-spirited musician.
Oh, yeah. And how are you planning to pay rent? With your dreams and ideals?
Yeah, no, he's got a point. I thought you liked working at the flower shop. Onyx shrugged. It's not bad, it's just, I don't know, I feel like I'm wasting my energy on the wrong thing, losing time, as I thought I'd achieved more by this age. Look at all of you. Lucian's a professor with a PhD. Oray's about to open his own cafe. Vesper is a great meister. Grandmaster. You should accept that I'll never remember that word. Nova's gonna be a museum curator soon. Talus is his own jewelry workshop, and Renato, well, he's gathered a bunch of little cultists around him. You have a very strange idea of what being a primary school teacher in a religious school is like. Actually, the description is pretty accurate. Yes. Nova chuckled, imagining Renato's students wearing dark cloaks under the cover of night. You're a wizard, Terry. Who do we have left? Oh, Shen.
Here we go again. Are you going to say I'm complicating the lives of teenagers who already are in a tough spot?
Oh, no, I was going to say that you have a very difficult job, and I respect you for doing it. Crossing his arms and narrowing his eyes, Shen watched Onyx, waiting for the catch. Onyx raised her hands in surrender. I mean it. I won't last a day in social work.
Kids like people like you. You should drop by the center sometime. Give a guitar master class or something.
Oh, I could try, yeah. After a moment of hesitation, Onyx returned to the topic. Anyway, all of you seem to really love what you do, and me, I'm just fine with my job. With music, I feel like I'm doing something I'm meant to do. I'd offer you a gig here, but I'm afraid it wouldn't exactly be your crowd.
Nah, we'd scare all your patrons away.
I'm sure you'll keep growing. Soon you'll be able to focus entirely on the band, Onyx. Sometimes I regret deciding on my career so early. I never really got to try anything other than chess. If something were to happen now, my professional skills are very limited. I basically have two options. Play chess or teach chess, that's it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining, it's just that sometimes I wonder what else I could be doing. I can't imagine doing anything else. Academia has a lot of issues, of course, but I like doing research and teaching. Lucian smiled at Renato. Teaching adults, kids I couldn't handle. You just need to have patience. Other than that, I don't know. It's amazing to see their eyes light up with curiosity. You don't see that as often in adults. Oh, definitely. At the museum, we have to get really creative to keep people interested in the exhibits. I don't understand how you can just walk past a Bellini or Lieberman without even stopping for a second, but that happens all the time. They continue to discuss art, snobbery, and the topics surrounding them. Oh, we should ask Danny to take a picture of us. She should have a camera with her. Who knows, when we'll all get together next, I might forget what some of you look like by then. A suggestion has met with unanimous murmur. He called Danny over, and she happily agreed to take the photo. Hey, nice. I don't know what's going on in this chapter so far, and it feels really confusing, but that's nice. Hold on, I'm a mark it. I'm calling it normalcy, because why not? No, I really like this. Except it's really weird, that one picture where everyone's like in a circle, right? It's actually kind of weird. Nova would have liked to stay a little longer, but the clock reminded her that it was time to go. Sorry, guys, we have to go. Dad and Maria Luisa are expecting us for dinner. Oh, say hi to them for us. And don't forget about the lecture on Thursday. I'll send you the address of the library. Yeah, it was nice seeing you all. Have fun. Then Alex pulled Onyx away from the table just as she was trying to snatch some leftover food, and the three of them headed for the exit. There they are! Onyx and Talus hesitated at the threshold. Nova had to practically push them into the apartment. She tried not to show it, but she was just as nervous as they were. Talking about introducing your parents to your family is one thing, or partners to your family is one thing, but actually introducing them is a whole other deal. Maria Luisa, this is Onyx and Talus. She nodded enthusiastically, as if she was being given a personal lecture on art history, and doing her best to show she was listening attentively. She'd been trying to show as much support and acceptance as possible ever since Nova had told her about her relationships. Sometimes she went a little overboard, but even that was endearing in its own way. Hello, this is for you. Nova mentioned that you have a record player. He handed her a vinyl record of artists who were popular in her youth.
And this is from me?
Talus gave her a small metal object with crystals.
It's a sun catcher. If you hang it by the window.
Nova squeezed her eyes shut as something clicked in her head at his words. Catcher. Mary Louisa left to put away the presents. Someone else entered the hall.
Good evening.
Dad. In his arms with a smile, Nova sank into her father's embrace, reliable and strong.
You're forgetting about your old man.
She hit him lightly on the shoulder. Stop talking nonsense. Letting go of his daughter, Ricardo Barone shook hands with first Onyx and then Talus.
Wow, I've lived to see this day. My daughter finally brought someone home. And not just one, but two. Which one of them are you going to marry?
Isn't the whole thing supposed to be both? Question mark? Can we at least eat before you start bombarding us with awkward questions? Don't mind him. His jokes aren't always funny. Ricardo let out a short "ha!" then gave Talus a hearty slap on the shoulder.
Let's go to the table. I should very much like to get to know you two better.
God, he's different from when he was the bishop. He's weird looking. The table was almost buckling under the weight of various dishes. Maria Luisa had truly outdone herself. She decided not to choose between risotto and lasagna and served both. Considering there are 5 of us, that was a wise decision. Didn't you just come from a place you were eating, though? I'm just saying. Nova took a deep breath, closing her eyes. The smell of food awakened both hunger and pleasant childhood memories. In middle school, she was sometimes teased for bringing homemade lunches. It was much cooler to flaunt wealth and buy something from the cafeteria with your allowance, which the adoptive daughter of a social worker didn't have much of. Nova never really understood how anyone could prefer the tasteless cafeteria fare over the Mary Louisa's cooking anyway. The first 7 years of her life, Nova lived on what her father cooked. His skills were limited to quick snacks and pasta with store-bought sauce. Not bad, but when Maria Luisa entered their lives, everything changed. For many years, she'd come to help Ricardo with the household and his daughter until he finally proposed to her. Nova was glad he'd opened his heart again after the death of his first wife, her adopted mother, who passed away shortly after adoption.
Did you fall asleep over there?
Everyone had already sat down. She was the only one who was still standing in the middle of the room. Aren't you proud I learned how to sleep standing up? Maria Luisa nudged her husband. Stop teasing her. Can't you just see she's exhausted? She'll stop coming to see us if you keep getting on her nerves.
She can handle it. She's a professional and getting on people's nerves herself.
Shaking her head good-naturedly, Nova joined them at the table. Maria feigned irritation, dissolved into a wide smile as she began to describe each dish. I cooked this one for your 20th birthday, Nova, remember? And here we have an eggplant, new recipe. I don't know if it turned out right. Hopefully I didn't oversalt it. I keep oversalting or undersalting everything. I don't cook much, so I still don't get how to measure its to taste. Why can't they just write it properly? 1 teaspoon, 2... salt is the least of your problems when it comes to cooking. Look who's talking! The woman who burned a casserole last week.
You burned a casserole? Nova, how did that happen? We raised you to be a diligent homemaker.
Nova shot a look at Ricardo as he laughed.
I already accepted that all the cooking is on me. They're on dish duty.
Maria put her hand on Dallas's shoulder. Finally someone who understands me.
I always volunteer to help. You're the one who kicks me out of the kitchen.
Because you're doing everything wrong, and I don't have time to teach you. All right, the food is getting cold. Let's eat. Ricardo held out his hands to his wife and Onyx, who were sitting on either side of the table. Onyx knew what was happening, as she grew up in a religious family, but it took Dallas a second to catch on. Nova and Maria took his hands, completing the circle. He nodded with a modest smile. Everyone closed their eyes, preparing to say grace.
Heavenly Father, bless this food with my dear wife, Maria, who prepared it for us. Tonight we are sharing the meal with special guests, Onyx and Talus. Thank you for bringing them into our daughter's life. Thank you for the gift of our family, for the support, warmth, and love that we find in each other. And thank you for your unwavering generosity and grace which you bestow upon your unworthy servants. Let this evening...
Oh God, tinnitus, Jesus Christ. I hate that shit. Okay, moving on. Her father's voice was drowned out by a thick, piercing ringing in her ears. Nova was overwhelmed, swept in a dark wave of inexplicable, insidious horror. She broke into a sweat. Her skin went cold. The air clung to her insides, turning to dust. The ringing formed a guttural chorus. We are unworthy servants.
Nova, what happened?
I don't. And her left wrist. Pulling her hands away, she started rubbing it, vainly trying to get rid of the violent burning sensation akin to the touch of hot metal. Nova! She could only shake her head, unable to utter a word over the catacomb that took over her mind. We are unworthy servants. Opening her tear-filled eyes, Nova screamed when she saw the outline of a scar and ornate M on her skin. What was this? It shouldn't be there. Or she shouldn't be there. Birdie! Nova jumped up from the table and stumbled back. Her life, her home, her job, caring, kind father, cheerful, sweet Maria Luisa, her happy friends, partners, an existence untainted by struggle, a world where everything was well. This is my life. This isn't real. This isn't real. An illusion. A deception. The realization settled in her soul in a bitter pain, and with it, her surroundings began to dissolve. Maria disappeared first. Onyx and Talus followed. Her childhood home, the way it had never truly been, turned into a haze. Nova and her father were the only ones left. We are unworthy servants. We have merely done what we ought to do. I'll give you 5 on this one. It wasn't too bad. It was very confusing. Listen, The whole way through, I'm going in the back of my mind, I'm going, did I miss something? Did I literally miss something? Like, like, what happened since the last chapter? Did did I kind of black out, zone out? What? Alright, so we got 1 sun, 2 moon, 0 status and 0 power. Interesting. Alright, so one got my diamonds. Anyway, episode 7's up next. Without further ado, let me know your thoughts down below. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, make sure to like the video. Also, consider sharing the channel, sharing the video, and subscribing if you haven't already. Hit that bell icon also to receive notifications, especially when new episodes do go up. Other than that, like I said, let me know your thoughts. I did enjoy it, and as always, if you hadn't tuned in or know, I did already do the newest book, right? That did come out. That is up on the channel. The TMO, The Bay of Hope, Volume 1. So for off to a slow start, but it is interesting. It has a lot of potential, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. So, other than that, stay tuned for me playing catch-up on all this other stuff, as well as a lot of other things that are coming to the channel, like Stardew Valley, for instance. Yes, that'll be coming, as well as a lot of other games. So, catch y'all later. Peace out.